Yo, what's going on, Serpa? Squad Tanner here. I'm working on a lot of stuff right now and need a few materials, so I'm here at my home away from home. I also had to make a pit stop at Lowe's, and as I was walking in, I saw this. I'll be taking that. And last but not least, I had to hit up Petco for the $1 per gallon sale. Back at my house, and I've got a lot to show you. The first thing I want to talk about is the 150 cube. I finally decided what I want to do in the tank itself. I'll do that in a few weeks, but before then I have to address a couple of things. First is on the stand here. You'll notice I have a few custom paintings. I have one over there, two on the front, but the one on the left here is non-existent because I never finished it. I built the stand back in 2017, which feels like forever ago. I think it's time to finally finish it though. I started this nearly 4 years ago, so I apologize for inconsistent footage at first. I've learned a lot since then, and the second half is cleaner. Anyway, I gradually added layer upon layer over top of an underpainting to achieve the desired look. I'm using acrylic paints, which are my preferred medium. I can add layers quickly because the paint dries fast. In doing so, I paint from the background to the foreground to ensure the transitions are clean. A lot of people say that my style resembles the work of Bob Ross, but the techniques I'm using are very different. Not to mention that if you were to watch this in real time, you'd be surprised at how chaotic the process is. I guess it's something I can't escape. After all, many of you call me Bob Moss. In total, it took about 4 hours to complete this painting. Allow me to interrupt for a moment to ask you to help support the channel by subscribing and liking the video if you haven't already. For every time that video is watched and the like button isn't pressed, Moss sheds a tear. In all seriousness though, it really goes a long way to help support the channel. Now that the painting is finally done, I could get it into the frame. I cut and stained the boards for the frame when I started the project, so all I have to do is combine the pieces. I put some wood glue in the corners and secured it all together with brad nails. Lastly, I applied some polyurethane to preserve the piece and match the rest of the stand. I'm so excited to finally have this thing done. I honestly wasn't sure if I'd ever finish it, but now I gotta get it attached to the stand. I'm so relieved to finally have that painting done and installed on the stand. I think it's a pretty cool look, and what I was going for here was for each panel to show a different type of freshwater ecosystem. Whenever I first started setting up the animal room as you know it today, one of my plans was to incorporate paintings in all of the stands. Now a few of them I could still do that on, and if you'd want to see more paintings let me know and maybe I can revisit those and add them on. Something else I've been working on a lot lately that I'm very excited to share with you is an update on the plywood tanks. Before I do that though, there's a few things that I gotta do. At this point they're just about done and you can finally get a good idea as to how the whole unit's gonna look. I do still have to add the doors on the top three, and I also got to put a trim piece around the bottom one here to match the ones on top, so keep that in mind. Since this is the last time that you're probably going to see this before the tutorial videos, I figure I might as well give you a quick rundown on what's going on here. Your first question probably is, exactly how big are these? The top three are all the same, measuring 24 by 24 by 24 inches, which is 60 gallons or 227 liters. While the one on the bottom measures 72 by 24 by 28, which is 210 gallons or 793 liters. They're a decent size, and despite how it looks, they're all separate enclosures built into a stand to look like a cohesive piece. Stripped down, it's just a 2x4 structure faced with various pieces of wood. As such, all of the tanks can be removed from the shelf if need be. Something cool about the one on the bottom are built-in casters, which allow it to be wheeled wherever I want. Unlike others I've done before, it also features sliding glass doors. These were easy to make, and I think they look pretty clean. I'm still working out the mechanics for the doors on the other tanks and should have them done in a day or two. The last thing worth mentioning is that unlike my other plywood tanks, the canopy areas of these enclosures are separate from the tanks themselves. This made the builds a lot easier and more functional. Whenever I do the full tutorial on these tanks, I'll explain everything in detail. I'm not sure when that video will release though, because I still need to finish this vivarium, and I'm going to do all 4 of them in the same demonstration because they're all built more or less the same way. If all goes according to plan, I should be able to finish this one in a week or 2. While we're talking about custom built tanks, I might as well show you another one I'm working on. About 14 years ago I got my first large aquarium, which was a 90 gallon. I had that up and running until sometime last year, and it's just been sitting idle in the garage ever since. Luckily, a friend of mine said that he needed a tank of that size. However, he wanted it to be a front opening setup, and thus you have this tank. So what was once my old 90 gallon is now a new front opening setup. I still have to make the doors and add a few other components, but it's mostly done, and I can't wait to show you what we have planned for it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention the bit about the 40 gallon I picked up from Petco. I got this to replace the one that goes up on this rack that I accidentally broke whenever I was making this tank. Again, let me know what you guys want to see in this tank. I have a couple of ideas, but as always, I'm curious to know what you think. The last thing I want to discuss are the details about last week's giveaway. Like I said in that video, I'll announce all of the winners in next week's video, but apparently there were some issues with the pinned comment. I may have forgot to pin it for the first day. Some of you were able to find it, but once I fixed my error, there were so many comments that it actually got broken to the point where you couldn't actually even comment on it. So a lot of you just went down into the main comments and left a comment in there. So I will actually go through all of them now instead of just the pinned comment to get all of the entries out of there, but you still have the remainder of this day to put in an entry if for whatever reason you missed it or didn't put it in there because you couldn't find the pinned comment, or if you tried in the pinned comment and it got broken. So just leave a comment in the main comment section just letting me know about the details that I discussed in that video, and then I'll put you in for next week's giveaway. I didn't originally plan on showing a time lapse for this painting in this video as well, but I figured since I showed the other one and it is relevant to this video, I might as well show it because otherwise I doubt that it ever would have made it to a video, and I like the painting, so I figured I might as well share it as well. Just like the first half of the other, I painted and filmed this in 2017. As such, the filming is really jumpy and inconsistent, and I apologize for that. I'm not sure if you've ever painted before, but it's really fun. I suppose it could be intimidating, but the only way to do it is just to pick up the brush and paint. Eventually you'll find your groove and a style that suits your personality. For me, I don't really care about making it super realistic or anything like that. To be frank, I just want to slap paint on the canvas. For me, that's what I find fun and therapeutic. I honestly wish I did it more, but I don't really have a dedicated space for it. Hopefully that will change in the not so distant future though. And that's going to do it for this one, Serpa Squad. I apologize for the short upload this week, but as you can tell, I'm working on a lot of stuff right now, and I really got to just keep moving so that way I can get ahead and get myself set up for the remainder of this year. So as always, I appreciate your continued support. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about the paintings and that sort of thing. And until next time, Serpa Squad, take care and peace.